Well, Jenna Wolfe, Steven Jackson, Kevin Wildes. I'm so glad you guys asked me that. Steven, what did you say to me during the break?
You were doing graphs. I know you're a numbers guy, but when I saw graphs, I'm like, I don't know if I'm on this segment.
Let me show you. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to stand up. Steven,
not my strong
do you know what's coming up in November? An election, right?
Yes, I guess
Okay, so right now you have a bit of like horse race politics, right? So we had 7 people running for league MVP this year. And I know the lighting's not ideal, but you guys look at the graph, don't look at me. You've got Giannis, Luka, LeBron, Harden, and some guys down there who are going to come up later. So at December 1st.
December 1st. Okay.
At December 1st, as of December 1st, you had James Harden at 10%. He had 38 points per game. He had 8 40-point games. He had 2 games with 59 or more. He's in the conversation. Right there's LeBron James. His team that month was 17-2 from October and November. He led the league in assists, and the team all of a sudden looked like they'd played together for years. Luka Doncic explodes onto the scene. He's 25% chance to win league MVP. He averaged 32, 10, and 10. And then the reigning MVP, Giannis Antetokounmpo, he's at 45% as of December 1. They had lost 1 time in November to Utah. They then played them again a couple weeks later, and Giannis had 50. He averaged 33, 13, and 5 that month. So as of December 1st, there's your MVP tree. What say you, Steven Jackson? How's that sounding to you?
Terrible. But I mean,
terrible?
Terrible.
Terrible.
December 1st is cool.
As of December 1st.
Yeah,
All right,
cool.
let's see how it changes by January 1. January 1, what do we got? All right, Luka has plummeted. So what happened to Luka? Missed time. His team wasn't any good that year. They were 8-4. He missed time. His three-point percentage dips below 30. His Kansas City's on life support. LeBron, if you remember that month, 4-game losing streak. He also missed a game. He's not playing as well. He drops. Harden
was 2?
Harden, at that point in time, was averaging 38 points per game still.
Stack hates.
He, for the month, shot 43% from 3. The Rockets were on fire. He all of a sudden is at 25%. And then Giannis just coasting along, still at 45%. Stack, you're covering your face. He was averaging 39 points a game. We were at January 1st.
I'm just thinking if he didn't win it last year, he ain't got a shot.
Okay, well, let's see what happens. Now we get to February. February, do we have new faces on the board? Oh, wait, look. James Harden has plummeted. Luka's almost off. Kawhi Leonard makes his first appearance. So what happened to James Harden that he plummets there? All of a sudden, the Rockets go 6-6. Mm-hmm. He shoots 35% that month and 27% from 3. His Kansas City's on life support. Luka misses time again, and his numbers are down across the board. Kawhi, on the other hand, best month for the Clippers in January. They're 8-2. He has his first triple-double of his career, and they're playing great. LeBron also bounces back a bit. This is important. Wins Western Conference Player of the Month for the first time in his career. And then Giannis, at this point, he's got the highest PER ever. The Bucks are on pace for 70. They went 10-2 that month. He seems to be running away with it.
Here comes Tatum.
Now let's go to March.
Here comes Tatum.
Oh, look who makes his first appearance on the board. Jason Tatum, Russell Westbrook, and Chris Paul. James Harden is gone after a bad month. Luka Doncic is gone. Kawhi Leonard is gone as well. Russell Westbrook, I thought, could have won Western Conference Player of the Month. He's on there with 2%. Russ that month, the Rockets are 7-1. He gives you 33, 7, and 6. Jason Tatum, Eastern Conference Player of the Month. 30 points per game from Tatum that month. And then wait, is that Chris Paul? That is Chris Paul. Oklahoma City Thunder, the best closing unit in the league, way overachieving. And LeBron wins another Western Conference Player of the Month, while Giannis all of a sudden starts tailing off a bit. And that brings us to today, where we are right here, right now today. It is a 2-man race with a third person receiving votes. Chris Paul still at 5%. LeBron, given what he's done since March 1st, 34, 12, and 13 against Zion, 37, 8, and 8 against Giannis, the big win against the Clippers and Kawhi, and Giannis injured. Team loses. He got shut down by Bam Adebayo. All of a sudden, we're at 50%, 45%, 55%, 40%, and 5% for Chris Paul. That's how your MVP tree has gone throughout the season. That's where we're at right now.
And the weather today is what?
There's one person you're missing.
Who am I missing?
Jimmy Butler.
Oh, Jimmy Butler should have been on there at some point.
All right, back up. Back up to the board.
No, I can't go back up to the board.
Recalibrate.
So right now it's a 2-man race between LeBron and Giannis. Giannis has led all year. This is the smallest Giannis's lead has been all year. So that's where I see it. I think LeBron can can end up overtaking him. It would be if the Lakers have a better record. When a huge part of it was they were going to win 70, now they're only one game back. If Giannis misses more time, if LeBron wins the assist title, all these types of things I think would be feathers in LeBron's MVP cap.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Greek should have won it last year. I think the year James had an unbelievable year of scoring. No, we've never seen somebody score like that. He didn't win, but I just
Stack, you're not a Giannis guy.
I love Giannis.
I know, but I know, on the show for 90 minutes, and there's been a lot of like little Giannis.
Yeah, I love him, but I know he's limited. Like he was an MVP and he shoots air balls from the free throw line. Like all that stuff bothers me. Like rest in peace. I asked the honorable great Kobe, the second best player of all time. Have you ever shot an air ball at the free throw line? Not even with my left hand.
Yeah,
so
but
I'm just saying though, I don't see how you could be the best player in the game and you're shooting air balls from the free throw line. Huh?
Was Shaq ever the best player?
He was the most dominant, never the best player.
Okay, but so, all right.
That's the difference, Nick. You know that, right?
No, he's not the most. I agree, Giannis is not the most skilled player in the league. I think his skill's underrated.
He was dominant last year. That's what won him MVP.
And he's been just as dominant this year.
Exactly, but it's the same thing last year. It's the same exact thing.
But if it was good enough last year to win MVP.
To me, it wasn't. I think James put up the crazy numbers. What James did last year was unbelievable. Russ averaged another triple-double, didn't he? Like, that type of stuff is amazing. Like I said, he was dominant. And if that's the case, if we're going off dominance, Shaq should have won his whole career, every year.
Shaq probably got shortchanged out of a number.
Right, if we're going off dominance.
What do you go off of then? Is it who's makes the most impact on your team? Is it who can get you to win? Is it numbers? Is it efficiency?
I think it's a little bit of everything.
Tell me how you think it should be crowned.
Me personally, I would take what you do for your team, your numbers, and also your winning percentage. I don't think just because you dominate that you should be MVP every year. Like I said, if that's the case, Shaq should have won it every year because nobody's been more dominant than Shaq. So players like LeBron who do everything, not just carrying the team, but you're carrying a whole organization right now. Averaging a triple-double, that should be looked at every year. Jimmy Butler going to Miami, and nobody had Miami in the top 5. Miami's in the top 5 in the East right now, and probably one of the most dangerous teams in the Eastern Conference. Well, being able to change your organization, that's MVP stuff to me.
Well, so you're bringing up what I think is a very interesting question, which is how much should circumstances dictate who was the best player in basketball this year? Because this is not Giannis's fault. It's not even a negative. But Giannis's team is the same team as last year. They lost Malcolm Brogdon. They brought in a few other small pieces. Same coaching staff. The continuity, right, is the same. LeBron, totally new coaching staff, totally new team with the Anthony Davis trade. But so you factor that in. You factor in degree of difficulty into who's been the MVP.
Oh yeah, I mean definitely because just imagine you give Tim Duncan 3 rookies, and you go win a championship. That's a lot of props to Tim Duncan that you can carry 3 rookies and win the championship. When you got a guy like LeBron that's changing the whole organization that haven't been to the playoffs, 2012?
6 years, yeah.
You know what I mean? That says a lot. And we're not talking about an average organization. We're talking about the Lakers, the most banners, the most championships. That means a lot. And to have that on your back and to still be able to perform, to still win, to still do the things you're doing, you have to give them props for that.
It's almost like you want another award. No, but it's like the Chris Paul, Jimmy Butler, Siakam type players who aren't necessarily the best in the league, but have had the most impact. Or the most.
There should be, and I've gone over this before, but there should be, I say it's unofficial, but an official designation at the end of every year. Who's the best basketball player? Who is the best basketball player alive? You call it a title belt.
There's only going to be 2 people to me every year.
Well, right, but that's you could in the history of the game. Well, it's from Bill Russell to now, only 13 people have ever carried that belt.
Right.
There's only you went Russell to Wilt briefly, to Kareem for quite some time. Moses Malone had it. People can argue against me. They are wrong. Moses Malone had it in the very early 80s. Then Magic and Bird went back and forth. Then Jordan had it. He retired. Akeem gets it those 2 years. No argument against it. Jordan took it back. Then Shaq. Then Duncan. A lot of people would argue there's a brief period when it was Kobe. Then LeBron.
Brief?
Well, yeah, in between Tim's 2 MVPs and when LeBron started winning the MVPs would be the time. But regardless, that's the list. And now if you want to say KD took it from LeBron, you can make the argument. I don't know if I agree with you.
I ain't going to say take it, but they're right. They're neck and neck.
But that is a different award than who was the most outstanding player this year. The best player in basketball is LeBron. He's been the best player, aside from his injury year, for a decade.
For LeBron
not with Kobe. Not when Kobe was around. He wasn't the best when Kobe was around.
Okay. Well, listen, out of respect to the late, great Kobe Bryant, I don't want to have the debate right now.
No, it's a debate that everybody's going to have because for the end of time because they are the 3 best players, LeBron, Kobe, and MJ. So that's going to be talked about whether he was here or not. You know what I mean? But just my opinion, he's the second best.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.